What is PTSD? PTSD is a condition that affects the mental health and daily lives of over 300 million people worldwide. Post-traumatic stress disorder occurs when an individual experiences something that alters the course of their life, leaving them scarred with flashbacks, nightmares, and even physical side effects. The specific event that causes this PTSD is different for everyone. For some people, it might be something that happened in childhood, while for others, it is something that occurred during times of war, or it could even be something that happened during school. What do people think about people who are affected by PTSD? The National Library of Medicine states that people who seek PTSD treatment are often labeled as crazy or dangerous individuals. This oftentimes can stop people from seeking treatment for their issues and can lead to serious side effects down the road. This stigma against people who are affected by PTSD every single day causes them to not seek future treatment. While this isn't always the case, I know quite a few individuals who can testify to the accuracy of this statement. Imagine you had been stabbed. You are actively bleeding, clutching your wound, and someone sees you and says, "You're crazy. You're making this up. This isn't real." Would you still seek treatment? Or would you fear that the doctor might say the same? Dilemmas like these are only perpetuated by society's stigma against people affected by PTSD. If we as a whole are more educated on how this mental illness affects people, we will be better able to provide them with the treatment and care that they need. Now, you might find yourself asking, "Luna, how does this apply in real-world situations?" So here are just a few examples of how the stigma around PTSD can lead down a bad road. First, an example of how PTSD can be used as an excuse for violence. Take Renee Nicole Good, a wife and mother who was fatally shot 3 times in the face by a federal agent on January 7th. In most cases, the man would have been fired and done jail time, but not in this one. Influential members of the Republican Party have begun to excuse the agent's cold-blooded killing, stating that he had been in a car accident just 6 months before the shooting, and that he might have been a little bit sensitive. If that was the case, he wouldn't have gone near the car. One of the primary symptoms of PTSD is avoidance of possible triggers. Now, this doesn't just affect people who are affected by PTSD. This also affects the victim in the case, the victim's family, and anyone wishing for persecution of the murderer. It perpetuates the idea that people who have PTSD are dangerous and violent individuals, which is simply not true. Now, you might be asking, "Luna, how can I, as just one person, help stop and fight this stigma?" Well, if you've not personally researched this mental illness, that is perfectly fine. Most people just go off of what they hear. While it is standard for people to believe what anyone says about mental illness, it's always important to check the facts. Use credible sources like the National Institute of Mental Health, the World Health Organization, and psychiatry.org. Remember, by perpetuating the stigma, you're perpetuating our silence.